One introduction RAWSEP view: the United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only. For home building and furniture building, for just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the eco-design wood stove, and international convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. RAWSEP view: purple air PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.
Hi, my name is Lily. Andrew gave you the intro to residents against wood smoke emission particulates and their concern for air pollution from indoor residential wood burning. Residents against wood smoke emission particulates, or RAWSEP, would like every near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner whose wood smoke enters their yards and sickens the near neighbors to have a purple air PM 2.5 monitor hanging from the eaves of their home to measure the level of PM 2.5 entering their yards. That measurement of air pollution should be used as evidence of unnecessary air pollution, and each indoor residential wood burner should be shut down based on that evidence, one indoor residential wood burner at a time if necessary. The presentation by Andrew ended at 2 minutes 5 seconds. The same presentation by Emma starts at 2 minutes 3 seconds before the end of this podcast. So I am Lily, your timekeeper, and you can start the next podcast at 2 minutes 5 seconds in if you would not like to see the presentation by Andrew a second time. This presentation by me, Lily, ends at 5 minutes in. What you will see in the main content of this RAWSEP podcast will be news about air pollution from indoor residential wood burning, and how that air pollution is being combated by ordinary people just like you who are unfortunately near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners at this time. There will also be news about unnecessary and highly polluting use of wood as fuel in industrial wood burners and preventable air pollution from wood burning wildfires. There will also be news about air pollution from PM 2.5 from gas-powered cars. There will also be news about airborne diseases which are also preventable with vaccines such as COVID-19 and measles and whooping cough, to name just a few. In 2025, residents against wood smoke emission particulates is also concerned with combating the Trump destruction of government funding for programs which protect human health through the Department of Health and Human Services, and Trump destruction of programs which fund the science and medical research plan to protect human health from preventable illnesses. Protecting human health is a patriotic act, and our defense against enemies is weakened if we are not as healthy as we can be. Heat pump rebates are now offered by the federal government, distributed through the eligible United States, are available in 2025, and are the best, cleanest, and now cheapest alternative to indoor residential wood burning if that burning is actually done to purportedly save money. Wind and solar as sources of the electricity that powers heat pumps and electric cars is also cheaper than burning wood. The adverse health effects that are caused by indoor residential wood burning also come at a cost to near neighbors, both in shortening and ending their lives, and in actual hospital, clinic, and funeral costs. Instead of being compensated monetarily, near neighbors should instead be able to achieve immediate relief by stopping indoor residential wood burning in their hyper-localized neighborhoods, which relief readings from purple air PM 2.5 monitors used as evidence of air pollution will help them achieve. Welcome to news about hopeful scientific and medical achievements that will also help us achieve the goal of clean air to breathe.
Webisode 57DHXZS November 25, 2025 Common Sense by Thomas Paine applies here and now. In Webisode 57DHXZS 1 World, 2 United States, 3 Arizona, 4 California, 5 Colorado, 6 Georgia, 7 Indiana, 8 Maine, 9 New Jersey, 10 New York, 11 Texas, 12 Utah, 13 Virginia, 14 Washington, 15 Wisconsin, 16 Canada, 17 United Kingdom, 18 Denmark, 19 Africa, 20 India, 21 China, 22 Thailand, 23 Why is RFK Jr. so convinced he is right? 24 RFK Jr. lists apparent number 2 at the CDC who was Surgeon General in Louisiana. 25 and 26 Headlines Main content. Headlines Google Alerts November 25, 2025. 1 World Infectious diseases of poverty affected by fuel use and household smoking effects of environment and globalization on the double and triple burdens of infectious diseases of poverty. BioMed Central PM 2.5 and NO2 were extracted. The global and annual mean concentrations of ambient PM 2.5 and NO2 were the main exposure variables we examined. The environmental predictors of double and triple burden DTB of infection. Symptoms among under 5 children using multilevel machine learning ML methods. We used demographic and health surveys DHS data from 58 low and middle income countries mixed between 2000 and 2023 results of 154,624 3 children 19.2%, 20.5%, and 12.6% had one burden, namely fever, cough, and diarrhea respectively, while the overall double or triple burden DTB prevalence was double burden 11.9% and triple burden 3.7%. Respectively, the result revealed DTB were associated with the location of a child survey years wealth index, family, size, air pollutants, and environmental covariates. The estimated prevalence of both DTB symptoms substantially varies across districts. Intraclass correlation ICC equals 13.3% and countries ICC equals 8.8%. Conclusions: the study found substantial variation in the prevalences of DTB of illness among children under 5 and identified several environmental and sociodemographic predictors of these health outcomes. The study emphasized how integrating environmental and sociodemographic data with machine learning can enhance targeted interventions to reduce childhood infectious disease burdens in low and middle income countries. Conclusions: our study used PM 2.5 from NASA and the Globalization Index from WHO reports to assess the association between the environmental pollution and globalization index with both double and triple burden of infections among 154,624 under 5 children sampled from the 2000 to 2023 DHS dataset in 58 LMICs. The multilevel model revealed that the location of a child survey years wealth index of the household's resident size of the household, PM 2.5, fuel use, sanitation, sources of drinking water, and level of smoking risk were some of the significant factors of both double and triple burden of infections. Excerpts. Edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization. Previous literature revealed that the distribution of the prevalence of acute respiratory symptoms varies from country to country and from district to district within the same country. A child who resided in Latin America had a higher risk of both DB and TB compared to those who resided in Asia and Africa. This might be the reason that in Latin America, due to rapid urbanization and industrialization, many of the areas are affected by pollutant emissions. Exposure of children to higher household smoking is positively associated with a high prevalence of both double and triple symptoms, which is in line with previous studies. This result also supports research revealing that a higher risk of both double and triple burden of infections is significantly associated with household poverty. 2 United States ground source heat pump market to witness robust expansion. OpenPR.com. The expansion of the market is supported by increasing retrofit activities in residential buildings, government rebates for renewable heating systems, and United States heat pump versus central air conditioning AC cost, maintenance, energy efficiency. NerdWallet. Heat pumps cost more upfront than central air, but can heat and cool your home with higher energy efficiency. United States homeowner explains how he was able to snag $15,000 in rebates for a new HVAC that cooled down heating your home accounts for a huge part of your energy bills, often consuming 40 to 50% of annual household energy costs. Heat pumps outperform. United States homeowner questions the consumer hype over heat pumps after old HVAC gives out the cool down. One Redditor was looking for advice about whether to install a heat pump after their HVAC system died. United States new 2025 to 2026 energy rebates. Squeak Services explains how to qualify. Digital Journal. Heat pump water heaters $1,750, heat pumps cold climate $8,000, heat pump space heating and cooling $3,000. United States Northeast states. NESCOM. The heat pump push 10 states team up to electrify American homes. ACHR News. A new plan from the Northeast states for coordinated air use management envisions using more heat pumps for heating, cooling, and heating water in United States Pacific Northwest. HVAC expert explains when to replace a furnace or heat pump. And Hello Nation. Yahoo Finance. Heat pump may have reached the end of its useful life. Hansen explains that age is often one of the most reliable indicators. In the Pacific Northwest markets. Insider Business Insider. Kelso Wash. NOV 24th, 2025 Globe Newswire. When a heating system begins to struggle, many homeowners ask themselves whether they should schedule 3 Arizona. White Mountain. RAWSEP. View numerous articles brought to you by RAWSEP show how to prepare tasty food without polluting the air with wood smoke emissions that heighten the risk of human disease and early death. Protecting family members would seem to be foremost in most minds during the holiday season, but in this case it is not. However, this article may be written to profit the wood burning industry and not written by a family member intent on inflicting needless disease and death on his or her family. From the article headline: Bring wood-fired flavors to your holiday table with these recipes. White Mountain Independent. The Grill Dads are bringing wood-fired flavor to holiday feasts. 4 California tax credits for heat pumps and insulation to expire. Healdsburg Tribune. So serious are utilities about replacing gas appliances that one of the criteria for eligibility for a heat exchange rebate is that gas lines be 5 Colorado new report reveals plug-and-play solar panels could soon take over U.S. markets. The cool down, a Colorado homeowner shared how they secured over $15,000 in rebates for a new heat pump, but multiple rebate programs brought down the final price. Colorado pile burning plan near Baldy Mountain. Bureau of Land Management. For more information, please visit the Colorado Air Pollution Control Division website. Colorado San Juan National Forest begins pile burning. Forest Service. USDA bowls of thin trees were harvested for firewood by local residents. Piles from Huerto Creek timber sale. Colorado U.S. Forest Service to start annual /pile burning steamboat. Today.com steamboat pilot smoke rises from a controlled burn on Emerald Mountain. In September 2017, the city of Steamboat Springs was burning /piles of beetle killed wood. Colorado wildland firefighters to burn /piles in Mesa County. Bureau of Land Management. Prescribed fire smoke may affect your health. For more information, visit the wood smoke in your health page on the Colorado Air Pollution Control. 6 Georgia why abundance. My current example. RAWSEP view. This Daily Coast blogger appears muddle-headed and wants someone else from Daily Coast to explain heat pump rebates to him. He says he is a Georgia lawyer, but appears unable to read a manual which tells him who to consult for a home energy audit. He apparently is one of the wealthy class who probably will not qualify for a rebate based on a low to middle income sliding income scale, and that perturbs him. And he would like to share any possible confusion and deter others from seeking a rebates for heat pumps which are available in Georgia until only December 31st, 2025. Based on a decision by the Trump administration, RAWSEP interjects into the excerpt below in order to make some things clear for some low to middle income Georgia dweller who may still get heat pump rebates until December 31st, 2025. From the article headline Daily Coast, November 24th, 2025, this basic federal tax credit requires a home energy audit before and after to verify the heat pump HVAC or insulation or induction range. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against with smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization in their book Abundance, Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson argue that Democrats lose elections to obvious MAGA-type fascist idiots because we make government so complicated it becomes ineffective. In other words, voters want the things Democrats say we are for, but once we are in power we do not deliver those things, not in a reasonable time, not in a reasonably effective way. We are in the process of evaluating proposals to replace it possibly with a heat pump. 1. The basic federal tax credit, which might reimburse us up to 30% of the cost of the system, expires at the end of this year. RAWSEP thinks you can thank the Republicans for the time limit thanks to the Democrats passing a time-limited program that they hope to make permanent, but could not because they did not win the 2024 elections. RAWSEP wonders if Republicans delayed the rollout in many states, or did Democrats who would have gained at the ballot box in 2024 delayed the rollout? What do you think? The rollout happened in several states before November 2024. There are 7 approved energy auditors in the state of Georgia, which has a current population of about 11.3 million people. You also have to be income eligible too. There is also a flat $2,000 heat pump tax credit or $600 tax credit on a high-efficiency conventional HVAC system, actually 2 state programs. And here RAWSEP believes that the federal here, which probably runs out on December 31st, 2025, is for up to $8,000 for a heat pump rebate given out at the store cash register based on a sliding income scale. How close is the money to running out? Global warming wise, so far only 709 households from a population of 11.3 million people in Georgia have benefited from the programs. Does this expire at the end of 2025? RAWSEP says yes, it probably expires on December 31st, 2025 at the choice of the Trump administration. There are 29-page PDF applicant user guide downloadable from the FAQ page. I can consult. RAWSEP urges you to read it. If you can read all these rebates started in early 2025 after, please note the November 2024 elections, and Georgia was well ahead of many states to implement a federal law Biden signed in August 2022 if we wanted to win Congress and the White House in those November 2024 elections. We should have had tens of millions of homeowners cashing rebate checks signed by Biden for months or years ahead of November 2024. Before Biden signed the IRA, the EPA had its Energy Star Ratings program, and the IRS had the annual income of almost every American if we wanted to reduce global warming. Same, why the 2+ year delay? Why do I now need a 29-page user guide to figure out one of 3 rebate programs? RAWSEP urges you to read it. If you can read, why does the Maine rebate program require me to get on the waiting list of one of 7 auditors serving 11.3 million people? RAWSEP believes you have not contacted any of the 7 auditors listed in the document. RAWSEP urges you to contact 1 or more auditors before December 31st, 2025. Do not dawdle, but you seem the dawdling type. I just want to know how much a given HVAC system is going to cost me. RAWSEP thought you wanted to know what a given heat pump is going to cost you. 7 Indiana West Lafayette. The Riley Barty post LinkedIn. With the ever-growing interest in high-temperature heat pumps, our group decided to dive deeper into higher fidelity sub-component modeling. And 8 Maine. New England kicks off $450 million plan to supercharge heat pump adoption. Canary Media. The program aims to use federal funds awarded under the Biden administration to deploy more than 500,000 heat pumps in the chilly region over the Maine. Morningstar. RAWSEP View AI Overview. The New England Heat Pump Accelerator is a collaborative effort by 5 states to increase the use of energy-efficient low-emission heat pumps in homes. The initiative, funded by the Federal Climate Pollution Reduction Grants Program, aims to support the installation of approximately 580,000 residential heat pumps, which would reduce carbon emissions by 2.5 million metric tons by 2030. The program is organized into 3 program areas or hubs and includes financial incentives for distributors and contractors to encourage the adoption of heat pumps. The initiative is organized into 3 program areas or hubs and includes financial incentives for distributors and contractors to encourage the adoption of heat pumps. Canary Media Accelerator planners expect programs to boost adoption even as a federal tax credit of up to $2,000 on heat pumps and heat pump water heaters. Is Yahoo heat pump adoption cut emissions and lower energy bills of residents? At the same time, heat pumps have faced barriers in the region. 9 New Jersey. RAWSEP View Idiot Corner. Spend $500 to increase the risk of lung cancer and early deaths for your family and for your near neighbors and hasten global warming. From the article headline, the GE $700 Profile Smart Indoor Smoker is on sale for $200 off at Lowe'sNewJersey.com. Smoke your Thanksgiving turkey, save $200 off with this Black Friday deal. Using active smoke filtration, the GE Profile Smoker uses real wood smoke. 10 New York RAWSEP. View what is the ethical thing to do this holiday. Do not burn wood to begin with. There should be laws against needlessly polluting the air in New York State. If there are, then obey them to the letter and go above and beyond to protect yourself, your family, and most importantly to RAWSEP, protect your near neighbors from wood smoke pollution. Do not burn wood to begin with. From the article headline, New York State comments on burning firewood this holiday. WYRK, what is the law about burning in a fireplace or wood stove in New York State for Thanksgiving? 11 Texas, Houston. Minor levels of particulate matter from P.H. Robinson fire still pose a threat to health. KHOU, according to the EPA website, PM 2.5 is particulate matter such as dust, dirt, soot, or smoke that is smaller than a human hair, and some of these. 12 Utah EPA declares Salt Lake City and Provo areas meet air quality standards after 15 years. EPA, PM 2.5, and to ensure clean air in accordance with the CAA background on November 6, 2020, EPA proposed approval of the Utah redesignation request. Utah feds take Wasatch Front off National Dirty Air List for inversion. Smog. The Salt Lake Tribune, the solutions DAQ and public health officials tackled for cleaning up the air of the region were not always popular, like wood-burning stove bans and diesel. Utah, Salt Lake City, and Provo air quality reaches EPA standards after 15-year journey. KSL TV, PM 2.5 is made up of particles smaller than or equal to 2.5 micrometers in diameter. The EPA also cites particulate matter as the main cause of Utah SLC and Provo areas meet EPA air quality standards for first time in 15 years. ABC for Utah, PM MST updated November 19th. 2025, 5:36 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Share Salt Lake City meeting the PM 2.5 standard underscores all of the hard work. Utah SLC and Provo meet federal air quality standards, but doctors warn residents to stay vigilant. Fox 13 News. The state pushed to swap out wood-burning stoves, modernize diesel vehicles. Industries made changes, and perhaps the biggest change? Utahns started. Utah Wasatch Front removed from the dirty air list of the federal government for inversion. Smog. The Salt Lake Tribune, PM 2.5. It is the first time the region has achieved that status in 15 years. The achievement of cleaner air in Utah Division of Air. 13 Virginia Harrisonburg Calf Mountain Fire fully contained. Bear Den Mountain Fire impacting Shenandoah National Park. WHSV. The ban prohibits all open-air fires, which includes wood fire, charcoal fire, and wood-burning camp stoves, as well as charcoal grills, gas, and 14 Washington Bellingham RAWSEP. View how to prepare for a premature funeral for you, your family, and most importantly, to RAWSEP, a premature funeral for your near neighbors. Burning wood also hastens climate change. Choose a cheaper way to heat your home, such as a heat pump that works down to 40 degrees below zero with federal rebates until December 31st, 2025, and also doubles as an air conditioner. From the article headline, how to prepare a fireplace for the winter. My Bellingham. Now, home fireplaces typically are wood burning or gas, though maintenance for these fireplaces differs. Certain preparatory steps must be taken. 1170 Kpug AM. The interior of a wood burning fireplace is likely lined with fire bricks. Check for cracks and loose joints. Hire a professional mason. Washington Benton City RAWSEP. View a pity that this wood-burning fire started inside a wood shop building, where presumably the aim was to fashion useful articles from wood rather than uselessly burning wood for heat. Perhaps safety measures to prevent wood fires were not rigorously followed. From the article headline, fire at Keona Benton High School. Link to shop equipment. News NBC. RightNow.com. Nonstop local news. The fire originated from a piece of equipment inside the wood and metal shop building, according to investigators. Assistant Chief Washington Mount. Washington RAWSEP. View idiot corner. Home heating can be achieved using clean energy, which in 2025 is cheaper than wood burning. Wind and solar can power a smart electric grid that reaches all rural areas to power individual homes with heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero and double as air conditioners. Heat pumps heat uniformly and do not require turning your body close to a wood burner to toast one side, and then the other. Humans are not pieces of toast, and there is a condition called toasted skin syndrome that arises from heating the human body this way. Toasted skin syndrome is not pretty either inside the human body or outside. This tradition is a killer, and RAWSEP is concerned more about the near neighbors of this wood burner and the cumulative negative effect of wood burning on the planet than the wood burner him or herself, unfortunately, because the wood burner is harming others while chained to a useless tradition. From the article headline, warm and cozy from offshore midcoastvillager.com. Midcoast Villager. My island kitchen is comfortably warmed by a large wood burning stove. This particular stove has all the best features of the new and the old. 15 Wisconsin Barron County Cameron Ordinance sets limits on open burning. Top stories. Barron News. Shield. Open burning remains permissible under a new ordinance adopted Monday, November 10th, 2025 by members of the Cameron Village Board. 16 Canada, British Columbia. The hybrid home upgrade. Every British Columbia, BC homeowner should know about. Times Colonist. For families considering a major home upgrade or replacing an aging furnace or heat pump, this rebate can be the tipping point that makes the switch. Canada, Ontario. How to qualify for the Ontario new rebates of up to $200 on induction cooktops, fridges. To do Canada rebate amounts are heat pump, clothes dryer $200, induction stove $150, washing machine $75, refrigerator $50, freezer $50, dishwasher $25. Canada, Ontario. North Bay. Massive fire costs still undetermined. North Bay News. Bay Today. .ca. Wood stove or fireplace. These substances can create dangerous fireballs in an instant, and just like burning too much wood at once can cause. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP. For brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the North Bay Fire and Emergency Services, released more information relating to a huge house fire on Cedar Heights Road early Sunday evening. Witnesses claimed the plumes of smoke from the blaze, which took place just north of Canadore College, could be seen more than 5 kilometers away in downtown North Bay. The fire chief of North Bay says the crews responded to a structure fire call just after 6:15 p.m. and battled the fire well into the early morning hours upon arrival. Fire crews had heavy smoke on the first floor, and a well-established fire in the basement area of the residence. Fire crews entered the building to ensure that there was no one in the house. The sole occupant was safely removed. Extra combustibles in the basement area increased the fire load, and fire crews exited the building and fought the fire from a defensive position. Whiteley says the location caused challenges for his crews. The residence was at the end of a one-way street with slippery and low light conditions that increased operational and safety concerns for fire crews. He said North Bay Fire and Life Safety Division has investigated the fire, and the fire will remain undetermined. There is no dollar loss provided at this time. North Bay Fire would like to thank North Bay Paramedics, North Bay Transit, and North Bay Public Works road personnel for their assistance. Winter heating tips. As the winter heating season is upon us, North Bay Fire would like to share the following tips. Preventative care. In a well-designed area for burning wood can reduce the likelihood of an unintended incident. Consult a professional about the proper installation of stovepipes. If you are using a fireplace regularly, have the chimney cleaned and serviced by a professional. Keep an area of at least 1 meter around the stove or fireplace clear of anything that might catch fire or overheat. Never use highly flammable materials such as wrapping paper or gasoline in a wood stove or fireplace. These substances can create dangerous fireballs in an instant, and just like burning too much wood at once can cause a buildup of flammable materials in your chimney or stovepipes. With the holiday season fast approaching, remember to take decorations such as stockings off the fireplace before use. If you have a rail Christmas tree, water it regularly and keep it a safe distance away from your wood stove and any open flames. Always use a screen in front of the fireplace and never leave children unattended by a fire. Have a fire escape plan for your house and regularly review it with your family. Once you are out, stay out. 17 United Kingdom Birmingham heat pump homes put less strain on grid than expected. Study shows the Guardian heat pumps for space heating and significant levels of insulation, all the heating the whole house with the heat pump. Mateo Garcia said RAWSEP View AI Overview. A recent study from the Birmingham Project 80 development has shown that heat pump homes consume less energy and place less strain on the electricity grid than previously anticipated. The study, conducted by researchers at Birmingham City University, analyzed the electricity consumption data of 7 all-electric homes on a 12-home social housing development. The findings indicate that the average peak electricity demand per property was lower than expected, and the timing of peak usage varied among households, effectively reducing cumulative strain on the grid. The homes consumed 40 to 67% less energy annually than the typical UK household, demonstrating the potential for well-insulated, energy-efficient homes to achieve significant savings in both energy consumption and carbon emissions. This research supports the wider adoption of heat pump technology and the Future Homes Standard, providing a positive outlook for the UK energy transition. United Kingdom Drax the forestry industry in the guise of green energy. The Guardian burning wood pellets. November 5, 2025. Drax burns millions of tons of trees every year, with reporting in this newspaper showing it is still burning. Letters. Drax the forestry industry in the guise of green energy. RAWSEP View. If every individual wants to lead on nature and climate and stopping air pollution from wood burning that causes health problems and early deaths, Drax and every individual indoor residential wood burner must stop burning wood for either energy or home heating. There are cheaper alternatives to industrial wood burning such as wind and solar and geothermal. There are cheaper alternatives to indoor residential wood burning for home heating such as heat pumps that work down to 40 degrees below zero and also function as air conditioners. Focusing on the source of wood is an excuse allowed by laws designed to allow wood burning to continue, even as scientific and medical research studies have shown for years that wood burning emissions causes many types of cancer and many other kinds of health problems, and those studies have shown that wood burning emissions cause needless early deaths. Wood can be used for home building and furniture building, to name only a few ways wood can be used without burning wood. A facility newly opened in Redding, California may show the way to use wood thinning material for construction, not burning. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission. Particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. The Guardian, November 21, 2025. RAWSEP synopsis. A Drax representative says leaving Canadian forests unmanaged is not the answer to preserving landscapes. A NRDC Natural Resources Defense Council representative says if Britain wants to lead on nature and climate, it must stop financing forest loss. From the 2 letters in the article. The Guardian, November 21, 2025. The first letter is written by a DREX representative. Drax writes that the environmental nonprofit Stand Up Earth fails to see the wood from the trees when it comes to the Canadian forestry industry and the Drax limited role within it. RAWSEP interjects that the November 9 Guardian article was written quoting experts. A Guardian article from November 9, 2025 is titled Drax Still Burning 250-Year-Old Trees, sourced from Forests in Canada. Experts say Drax responds to the November 5, 2025 Guardian article. We do not own forests or sawmills, and we do not decide what areas are approved for harvesting. The vast majority, 81% of our Canadian fiber, came from sawdust and other sawmill residues created when sawmills produce wood products used in construction and other industries. In 2024, the remaining 19% of our fiber came from forest residues, including low-grade roundwood tops, branches, and bark. Forests in British Columbia are harvested for lumber by timber companies under strict regulations set by the province government in joint decision-making with Indigenous First Nations. RAWSEP interjection. These British Columbia, Canada regulations on the type of wood harvested do not take into consideration that all wood burned has roughly the same emissions, which are 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Back to the letter written by a DREX representative. Around 94% of the province forests are on public land, and it is a legal requirement for these sites to be reforested in a free-growing condition. Leaving Canadian forests unmanaged is not the answer to preserving these landscapes. RAWSEP interjection. As said above, there is the example of Redding, California now, where forest thinning materials are repurposed into construction material, not burning materials. Back to the letter written by a DREX representative, we witnessed this in Jasper, Alberta last year when a wildfire on unmanaged land led to $880 million in damages and significant amounts of CO2 released into the atmosphere. The fiber highlighted in the Stand.Earth report was low-grade roundwood, which was rejected by sawmills following approved harvesting without the biomass sector using this harvest residue. It would likely be controllably burned on site to help mitigate wildfire risk. RAWSEP interjection. The likeliness of wood being uncontrollably burned on site is lessened if there is a way to use wood thinning for construction. This alternative to burning wood on site is exemplified by a new facility in Redding, California that uses forest thinning material for construction materials instead of burning forest thinning material. Back to the letter written by a DREX representative, it is far better to positively use this residual fiber to generate renewable electricity. RAWSEP interjection. Using the word renewable for wood burning implies that wood burning is good for the planet. This is an example of greenwashing. Wood burning, nothing could be further for the truth. Wood burning emissions contain 2.8 times the PM 2.5 and CO2 as the fossil fuel coal burning. Replacing coal burning industrial plants with wood burning industrial plants, as DREX has done, increases air pollution that hastens climate change. Burning wood for home heating increases air pollution that hastens climate change, as well as increases the risk of disease and early death, especially for the indoor wood burner and his family and the near neighbors of the indoor residential wood burner. Back to the letter written by a DREX representative. None of the fiber highlighted in this report came from a designated old growth management area or old growth deferral area. Chief Sustainability Officer, Drax Group PLC. RAWSEP. View now the letter from the Senior Forest Advocate for NRDC Natural Resources Defense Council. Unfortunately, neither letter writer mentions the negative health effects of wood burning on human beings, which is the chief concern of residents against wood smoke emission particulates. The NRDC representative refutes what concerns DREX in their letter. However, this NRDC letter does mention the emissions from wood burning as a negative. However, RAWSEP view the NRDC should stand up for protecting human beings as well as protecting plant ecosystems. The NRDC is right to point out the waste of UK taxpayer money spent because wood burning is now posited irrationally as better than coal burning simply because it is greenwashed as renewable. It is dirty renewable, not clean renewable, like wind and solar. In 2025, wind and solar energy is cheaper than fossil fuel burning for energy and cheaper than wood burning for energy. From the letter written by an NRDC representative, the UK has a hard-won reputation for global forest protection thanks to its leadership. When it hosted COP in 2021, it is a bitter irony that in the run-up to a climate conference hosted in the Amazon, the UK government has signed a new contract to pay billions in subsidies to Drax, the Drax power plant, to go on earning over £1 million a day from burning wood pellets, is the title of a Guardian November 5, 2025 article. Drax burns millions of tons of trees every year, with reporting in this Guardian newspaper showing it is still burning trees over 250 years old from Canada, while claiming to still be a forest leader. The UK spends billions supporting an industry that harms them. This contradiction exposes the hollow claims of the UK government of environmental leadership. Burning imported biomass is no credible climate solution. It simply shifts emissions and destruction elsewhere. If Britain truly wants to lead on nature and climate, it must stop financing forest loss under the guise of green energy and reclaim the mantle of forest leadership to protect ecosystems. Public money should restore and preserve forests, not reward those who destroy them. Senior Forest Advocate for NRDC Natural Resources Defense Council, United Kingdom. London innovations that could change how we think about heat pumps. Elemental London. Will Rivers, Associate Director at the Carbon Trust, explores 3 heat pump innovations that could deliver a real step change in heat pumps. United Kingdom. Yorkshire. RAWSEP view a wood burning ban could be brought in from the article headline. Wood burning stoves and log burners ban could be brought in after health warning. Yorkshire Liver report has revealed that burning wood and coal in homes contributes to approximately 2,500 deaths annually. Domestic burning releases fine particulates. United Kingdom. RAWSEP view idiot corner. Do not burn wood to begin with. Wood burning is always grubby. Wood smoke will stain your lungs and the lungs of your near neighbors, and wood smoke will hasten climate change. This wood burning is apparently done for aesthetic reasons. View a video of log burning if you must, or choose a healthier artistic expression from the article headline. Stained log burner glass will be like new in seconds if you use one natural waste item. The mirror high angle view of wood burning stove. The primary culprit for grubby log burner glass stains is often burning moist wood. United Kingdom. Wales. Welsh government told to stop promoting wood burning stoves after ruling of the regulator nation. Simru burning of wood and coal in homes contributes significantly to UK deaths from air pollution, leading to calls for phasing out domestic wood burning. 18 Denmark. Task 1 Technologies Project. 58 Heat pumping technologies. Technology review about supplier technologies and demonstration cases. As part of Task 1, we collected information about heat pump systems. And 19 Africa. China. TopCon solar cell prices in China extend slide amid easing rebate concerns. Green building Africa. Another producer noted that even if the rebate is removed or heat pump. 20 India. Application of empirical likelihood ratio test in AR 1 time series model for PM 2.5 forecasting. Nature. The proposed test is further validated using major air pollutant PM 2.5 data from Guwahati, Assam. The empirical results show that the forecasted PM India Delhi AQI level today, November 19, 2025, the Indian Express, while the World Health Organization WHO guidelines specify a maximum of 15 micrograms per cubic meter PM particulate matter 2.5 exposure in 24 hours. The figure is 21 China. Evolving regional transport of PM 2.5 in Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, and its surrounding areas. IOP Science. The simulated regional average PM 2.5 concentration across BTHSA declined by 56.1% from 2013 to 2020, primarily driven by anthropogenic emission. 22 Thailand. Thai authorities step up battle on PM 2.5 with new communication and enforcement push. Pattaya Mail. Particulate matter PM 2.5 problem. He urged relevant agencies to strictly enforce measures preventing open burning. Detect vehicles emitting. Headlines. Newsletters. November 25, 2025. 23 Why is RFK Jr. so convinced he is right? Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization, The Nation, November 25, 2025. The Trump Secretary of Health and Human Services RFK Jr. oversees 1 out of every $4 in the federal budget, controls the CDC, and regulates about 17% of the U.S. economy. During his tenure so far, he is attempting to remake American science in his image that includes his efforts to bring about changes long sought by various health advocacy groups, reviews of baby formula ingredients, and bans on using food stamps to buy sugary drinks, for example. And most notably, his rejection of the scientific consensus on vaccines. He has also canceled hundreds of millions of dollars in research grants and defended a White House budget proposal that cut 40% of the National Institutes of Health funding. This profile involved multiple interviews with RFK Jr. top deputies and former colleagues, and within his own family, to understand the man who is now shaping the present and future of American medicine. Why is RFK Jr. so convinced he is right? How RFK Jr., an outsider once ignored by the public health establishment, became the most powerful man in science. RAWSEP adds RFK Jr. is not a physician or scientist, but is in science possibly totally only because of name recognition, since he is a nephew of a former U.S. president. 24 RFK Jr. lists apparent number 2 at the CDC, who was Surgeon General in Louisiana. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. A 501c3 nonprofit organization. Inside Medicine Newsletter, November 25, 2025. Scoop: the apparent new number 2 at CDC is a top ivermectin prescriber who ended the Louisiana vaccine promotion media campaigns. The current Surgeon General of Louisiana has made headlines recently, including for allegedly burying a whooping cough outbreak. The CDC internal email server now lists Louisiana physician Dr. Ralph Lee Abraham as the CDC principal deputy director. Until now, Dr. Abraham has served as the Surgeon General of Louisiana, while neither the agency nor HHS has announced Dr. Abraham as the new number 2. His name has previously been among several rumored possibilities for the post. One source, a national public health expert who previously served in government and is familiar with the career of Dr. Abraham, said that this would be an irresponsible choice. He added that he is a dangerous guy because he is very slick, referring both to his style and his experience as a U.S. congressman from 2015 to 2021. Here are some recent highlights from the Dr. Abraham. In February 2025, Dr. Abraham made headlines by announcing that Louisiana would end mass vaccination campaigns. While Abraham may not be strictly against vaccines, he said that childhood immunizations are important. The announcement came the same day that RFK Jr. was confirmed as Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, not exactly a subtle way to audition for a top job within HHS. The state of Louisiana, under the Dr. Abraham leadership, failed to alert physicians about 2 whooping cough deaths and the largest outbreak in the state in 35 years in 2024 to 2025 for months, despite attempts of medical professionals to raise the issue. Whooping cough, also known as pertussis, is a vaccine-preventable disease, making outbreaks crucial information for the public. A MedPage Today analysis found that out of around 12,000 practicing physicians in 2021, Dr. Abraham was the 7th highest prescriber of ivermectin in the state, a drug that by then had already been found in some high-quality clinical studies to be ineffective in treating COVID-19. Dr. Abraham prescribed the medication 422 times in 2021, which meant that he was personally responsible for 1.1% of the Louisiana ivermectin prescriptions. In fairness, that pales in comparison to Texas physician Dr. Stella Emanuel, yes, the demon sperm lady, who milled out 31,979 ivermectin prescriptions in 2021, thereby accounting for 1.7% of the prescriptions of the entire nation of the drug that year, which, by the way, does reduce malaria transmission, as the opioid crisis became more apparent last decade. Dr. Abraham was found to be among the most active prescribers of the drug class. The Advocate in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, reported that Abraham was in the top 0.2% in the number of Medicare Part D patients he wrote opioid prescriptions for in 2013, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. While Dr. Abraham is an MD and presents himself as a family physician, it appears that he is not board certified in family medicine, a recognized medical specialty. He is still licensed to practice medicine. However, the principal deputy director can serve indefinitely and is not a Senate-confirmed position, so it is possible that with Dr. Abraham in place in the number 2 role, Secretary RFK Jr. and President Trump could run the clock on this for a long time. That is because the moment Trump nominates a permanent CDC director, the 210-day clock extends, so that means that, say, in late March, there could finally be a new nominee. At that point, RFK Jr. could simply swap in some other lieutenant from the French lieutenant, means placeholder, as acting director for the entire period during which the nominee is under Senate consideration, plus another 210 days on top of that. This cycle can repeat twice. O'Neill is the first because the Menarez confirmation last summer reset the game. All of this means that Secretary RFK Jr. may be able to fully leverage the power he seeks at the CDC by having Dr. Abraham serve as principal deputy director in name, only giving him the tacit power to provide marching orders to his boss, whether it is Jim O'Neill now through the end of March or someone else. The second permitted acting director placeholder installed after a new permanent nominee is named, which could be any time between now and late March. So it could be 2027 before President Trump once again faces the specter of a CDC without an acting director. But why would he care if RFK Jr. and Abraham can assume all of the duties? So once again, Secretary RFK Jr. may have found a way to exert the most influence that he possibly can. He may not know much about science, medicine, or health, but he seems to know at least some of the federal laws of our nation, unfortunately. 25 headlines. The New York Times, November 25, 2025. Alabama Democrat former Senator Doug Jones enters Alabama governor race. The New York Times. Artificial intelligence. I am a professor. AI has changed my classroom, but not for the worse. The New York Times. Artificial intelligence. Opinion. AI dominates our world. Why do not Democrats have a plan? The New York Times. Artificial Intelligence prosecutor used flawed AI to keep a man in jail. His lawyers say the New York Times aviation Boeing tackles quality. With a war on defects, the New York Times food. Does New York need another luxury grocery store? The New York Times food easy Thanksgiving appetizers NYT. Cooking food opinion. What your signature dish says about you. The New York Times France-Ukraine war support army chief says France must accept losing our children, igniting uproar. The New York Times Germany before the Berlin Cowboys are booted off their land. One final hoedown. The New York Times. Internet faux jewels and slimming belts. Why shopping on TikTok is a lot like QVC. The New York Times medicine and science opinion. Scientists need to take headaches seriously. The New York Times. New York City. Housing. My landlord is trying to cheat me on a lease renewal. The New York Times. Pollution from industry. Auto industry was warned for years of poisoning sickness from car batteries. The New York Times. Religion. How to. New York Times reporters cover Christianity in the Trump polarized America. The New York Times. RFK Jr. lack of knowledge of medicine and science opinion. I went to a conference against vaccines. Medicine is in trouble. The New York Times. Trump administration kowtowing to industry. Consumer Bureau. Bank examiners criticize new humility pledge. The New York Times. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. Anxiety. It is what is for Thanksgiving dinner. The New York Times. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. Judge tosses criminal charges against James Comey and Letitia James. The New York Times. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. Mark Kelly under Pentagon investigation for illegal orders. Video. The New York Times. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. Opinion. The Trump broken promise to confront corporate power. The New York Times. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. Opinion. Why Trump will not face prosecution this time around. The New York Times. TV. Jimmy Kimmel is charmed by the Trump-Mamdani bromance. The New York Times. Ukraine as Trump pushes to end Ukraine war. Europe toils to have a say. The New York Times. Ukraine as Ukraine sets red lines. A U.S. peace plan is slimmed down. The New York Times. Ukraine. How Rubio tried to bring a pro-Russia peace plan to middle ground. The New York Times. United Kingdom budget will be a big test for the UK, most unpopular chancellor in decades. The New York Times. Venezuela. Opinion. The incomprehensible march toward regime change in Venezuela. The New York Times. 26 headlines. The Guardian. November 25, 2025. Art. Who was the Caravaggio black-winged god of love? What this masterpiece reveals about the rogue genius art and design. The Guardian. Artificial intelligence. 4 ways AI is being used to strengthen democracies worldwide. Nathan E. Sanders and Bruce Schneier. The Guardian. Artificial intelligence cannot take a joke. AI does not understand puns. Study finds artificial intelligence AI. The Guardian. Australia Consumer Survey finds more than half of Australians experience Black Friday remorse. Of buyer. Consumer Affairs. The Guardian. Canada. First Nations inconvenient. Indian author Thomas King says he is not Indigenous. Canada. The Guardian. China. Xi Jinping raises future of Taiwan in call with Donald Trump. China. The Guardian. Democrats. Is the Democratic Party embracing Bernie Sanders style politics? Dustin Guastella. The Guardian. Democrats. Majority of Latino voters disapprove of Trump. Pew study finds Donald Trump. The Guardian. Democrats. Why did young men move left in the November 2025 U.S. elections? Corey Alpert. The Guardian. Exercise and food. Los Angeles walks baker dozen 13 miles for the first half marathon devoted to bakeries in Los Angeles. The Guardian. India. Dharmendra. The Bollywood He-Man and one of its most enduring stars dies at 89. Bollywood. The Guardian. Medicine and science brain has 5 eras. Scientists say with adult mode not starting until early 30s. Neuroscience. The Guardian. Movie. RAWSEP. View. Has Trump been flooding the zone or keeping up a 24-hour rush hour like his favorite movie Rock M. Sock'em Antiheroes? Will he make a cameo appearance like his 10 seconds in Home Alone? From the article headline. Trump wants to revive the Rush Hour franchise. Is he eyeing a return to Hollywood? Movies. The Guardian. New Zealand. Jacinda Ardern. An uncomfortable truth for our leaders. There is a limit to how human we want you to be. Gabby Hinsliff. The Guardian. Sri Lanka. The dangerous rise of Buddhist extremism attaining nirvana can wait. Sri Lanka. The Guardian. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. James Comey grateful after criminal case against him thrown out by judge. Video. James Comey. The Guardian. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. U.S. Attorney General vows to appeal dismissal of criminal cases against James Comey and Letitia James. U.S. Politics Live. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. U.S. judge finds evidence of government misconduct in federal case against Comey. James Comey. The Guardian. Trump lawsuits for personal vengeance. What happened at Fox News after the 2020 election? Documents reveal new details. Fox News. The Guardian. Ukraine. The Guardian. View on a viable peace framework for Ukraine with the help of Europe. Zelensky can have better cards. Editorial. The Guardian. Ukraine. The Trump peace plan was a pro-Kremlin abomination whose failure is a glimmer of hope for Ukraine. Rajan Menon. The Guardian. Ukraine. U.S. to hold Russia-Ukraine peace talks in Abu Dhabi after Kyiv hit with deadly overnight strikes. Europe. Live. United Kingdom. NHS directed pregnant women to controversial free birth society via charity. NHS. The Guardian. Virginia. The University of Virginia and Cornell deals with Trump set a dangerous precedent. Serena Mary and Amanda Shanor. The Guardian.
Red Green Fox here. The quick red green fox jumped over the barriers to clean air. Red Green Fox here. Ready to sing to you the names of the 2025 major wood-burning biomass industry subsidy opponents. 1. Biofuel Watch. 2. Bulkley Valley Stewardship Coalition of British Columbia, Canada. 3. Comite Schoen Lucht, which means Beautiful Air Committee in German. 4. Dogwood Alliance. 5. Equity Group Foundation, nicknamed EGF. 6. Environmental Paper Network, nicknamed EPN. 7 Natural Resources Defense Council nicknamed NRDC. 8 Prakaunia Narzek Wisistik Istit, which means workshop for all beings in Polish. 9 Rachel Carson Council. 10 Solutions for our climate nicknamed SFOC.